Okay, so I'm just saying it pays to use both sides of your brain and not just one side. Now, people say, oh, I listen to HemiSync all the time and, da-da-da-da-da. You're not putting any work in. You're sitting there listening to something. Now, maybe it might have some kind of impact, and sound does impact the frequency of our brains and our body. It might have. But ultimately, if you don't switch hands, like brush your teeth, even if you play first-person shooters and you're left-handed with the WASD right here, and you use the right hand for the mouse, switch it. Use your left hand on the mouse and your right hand on the keyboard. Now you might say, man, this is hard to play like that. Yes, but it's developing new fibers in the brain. So if you're right-handed, your brain is literally physically growing. You're actually growing new physical synapses. You're colonizing your own brain. And this is essentially adding surface area like you would a hard drive. Because essentially every synapse in your head is like a transistor or a memory module. And there are millions of transistors inside a CPU. We have billions of transistors or synapses inside our head. You could say we have billions of transistors inside our head, making it a CPU. But if you want to utilize the dual pipeline effect, dual pipelining or dual pipeline is one of the computer pipelining technique to execute instructions in parallel. Now you're using your brain in parallel, both sides, because you physically upgraded the other side surface. It's literally like stacking a new metallic disk inside of a hard drive. Now, a fast way or a crash course in doing this, and a way to do this would take some orange juice or any acidic drink like lemon juice, orange juice, because of the special properties. I mean, it has a lot of free electrons. Eat some of these guys, make sure it's the right ones, not lysergic acid diethylmide, but these, and drink the orange juice with them. This way, this encourages the other side of the brain to colonize. While you're switching hands, you're programming that side physically. And I would suggest some DHA to help that brain growth, and some fish oil with omega-3. Now, the only reason I don't suggest this one, I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I don't suggest this because it's not as natural as this. Granted, this can be produced from our goat. It's synthesized, purified by man, and it just loses its natural consistency. So essentially what's happening is you're accessing, or you're flooding the brain with excess energy, and you're hot wiring it. And what this does is it forces synapses to take alternate routes. And while you're trying to program this, it makes a consistent route that your brain and your body can unify and put back into synchronicity. Essentially, you could utilize the opposite hand at will, and it'd be pretty accurate, eventually honing it. And I also suggest, while you do this, learn the Rubik's Cube. This will help your brain understand spatial concepts, or in spatial depth, essentially, spatial dimensioning. This will help improve the spatial conception, because space is literally a fundamental part of physics. It'll give you kind of a six-dimensional mindset, the way you can think outside of the box a lot easier, because you're in a six-dimensional mindset viewing a three-dimensional world or universe, making the universe little, putting you way outside the box. Also, even learning an instrument, because you're actually using sound to synchronize your brain in both hands. So this can help improve the other side. And this is important because sound progenites light, and we process sound through our temporal lobes. And this is our temporal field with our universe right in between our eye, that third eye, the brain. And when you can harmonize both sides, it'll force dendritic growth between the two fields.